Man, oh man, UConn for the men, a prohibitive favorite. $20 wager on UConn. The returning champs pays just $8.80. TC, I went 20 large on Bama.
Oh, come on.
Roll Tide, a $20 wager. My notes say it pays $3.60, but I placed this wager an hour ago, and $3.80 is my payoff. I also went 20 large for the women on Iowa. I've got to go with Caitlin Collins. Got to go with
Caitlin Clark,
my girl Caitlin Collins,
right,
and hope that this plays. But it's exciting. It's exciting to be interested in the men and the women.
Oh, can you imagine those campuses?
It's just fun. Oh, my God. It's going to be so wonderful this weekend. Join me right now on the BetParx app, the only sports betting app that I recommend. BetParx is safe, easy, and simple to use. You got to be 21 and in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, or Ohio. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Have some skin in the game. Have some fun. You love to play. You play to win. You bet. BetParx. Time now for the TGIF Friday headlines from Smerconish.com. Let me just say at the outset that if I'm ever stranded on a deserted island and one relief plane can fly overhead and it only has like one vice to drop.
Yeah.
Good cigars
or
booze.
And
I want the cigars.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm 5 days in on revisiting, dry January. Yeah. And I'm feeling good. I'm in tip-top condition for the Mingle Project on Sunday in Sellersville.
Fantastic.
So I'm maintaining a clear head and my radiant skin.
Yes. Wait, am I not radiant? I'm just asking.
You're pretty radiant.
Okay, good. Phew.
You're pretty radiant. You're not on the wagon this week, as I have been.
I am not on the wagon, and I have much shorter role in the Mingle Project.
But important, but a very important role.
Well, there are no small actors. No, there is no small roles. Whatever that saying is.
Okay,
yes.
You're important to me.
Thanks.
You're important to the show.
Very excited.
But I just want to say, if you're flying the plane, because as between the two of us, only one of us has soloed.
That's true. That is very true. So I will fly the plane and you don't drink the booze.
Cigars.
Perfect.
Cigars out the window, more important to me than the booze.
Got it.
That's what I've learned about myself.
Okay. I like it. Very interesting.
Double legal trouble for Donald Trump. So two rulings against him. Sure, I'm covering them. They're significant stories. The first is the Georgia judge rejected Trump's request to dismiss the election racketeering charge under the First Amendment. This is that ongoing Georgia case, Fani Willis, Fulton County, one of the four that's out there. The judge in this case rejected the Trump argument that the First Amendment shielded him from racketeering charges because his unfounded claims of widespread election fraud were political speech. And then similarly, one of the two federal actions, this is the Mar-a-Lago document case. This is the case that I've been saying routinely is the most straightforward of all of the Trump prosecutions out there. The judge denied, for now, Trump's bid to dismiss charges that he hoarded classified documents. A 3-page ruling by Judge Eileen Cannon left open the possibility for Trump to continue to raise the argument if a trial takes place in the case. This is a little bit complicated. He's citing the Presidential Records Act and saying that it gives him protection for the way that he treated that classified information. Meanwhile, Special Counsel Jack Smith is saying that the presidential records law is irrelevant and that the mishandling of the classified documents is governed by the Espionage Act. Michael, my head is spinning. What do I need to know about this? What you need to know about this is that April 15 is not only tax day, but it's also the day of jury selection commencing in yet another of the Trump cases, which is the hush money payment case, and that is game on. There will not be cameras in the courtroom, but today's the 5th. We are 10 days away from that beginning. It's going to be really interesting for many different reasons, not the least of which is that it'll take Trump off the campaign trail. He won't be able, he's got to physically be there. He's got to physically be there, and it's going to go on for a period of weeks. So that's Judge Merchan's case and how he handles it. I mean, I assume he's just going to walk outside and speak to the media each and every moment. We won't know what's going on in the courtroom except for the reports that come out because we won't be able to see for ourselves. Now, relative to the legal machinations that surround the 2024 election, I think this is a really big story and underreported, except in the Smerconish.com daily newsletter. CNN sues for access to tape of Biden's interview with the special counsel.
You want to see and hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yes, I do.
That's
And I'm just...
What is it, a FOIA? They can do that? Or
right.
Yeah?
Right. And you'll remember that Robert Hur in the final report said that Biden was a, quote, sympathetic, well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. We haven't spoken about this at all recently. And I wondered at the time, I still don't know. I still don't know if they rolled video. And I'm kind of shocked. I'm kind of shocked that I don't know, but it's not in the public domain. We know there's an audio recording. There could be video. That would be potentially a treasure trove for Trump. Especially the video.
Clips,
oh my
he's
God.
Always playing, yeah.
Can you imagine how they'll be using that on a campaign loop? Because of course, what was it, a 5-hour interview spread out over 2 days?
Right.
Roll this camera on me for 5 hours. You're going to get all sorts of ridiculousness.
Anyone.
Yes.
Anyone. Right.
Yeah, it's the same argument that I'm making about the crime that flows from the migrants. It's not so much that the migrants are bad seeds, but if you got 300,000 coming across the border in December alone, somebody in there is going to do something wrong.
Right, right. So if you put a camera or a tape recorder for 5 hours, I'm going to stumble, you're going to stumble. Some people are going to stumble more than others, but for sure.
So this was in a court filing yesterday in the D.C. court of the federal court in Washington. Quote, without access to any of the interview records, the press and public initially could not form their own conclusions about Hur's characterization of Biden. Transcripts, however, who said this to you before, are no substitute for recordings.
Oh, boy.
So are we going to get to hear, and what will be the response from the government? What will be the response from the government on this issue? I don't know. Remains to be seen. Poll results from yesterday, 26,000.
Yeah, how about that?
I'm not going to gloss over that. 26,890.
890. Don't gloss over that.
Right. It's essentially 27,000. Remember the days when 890 votes
we
would have been
died.
like, wow, 890 people.
I remember when we got 300, you were like, 500 is respectable.
Right.
And then all of a sudden 1,000 was respectable. Right.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It is so true. Should states give workers the right to ignore after-hour calls, emails, and texts from employers? We had the state legislator, Matt Haney from California, on the program. He's, I think, going to be with me on CNN on Saturday.
Fun.
Depends on the news cycle later today. 52.36% said yes, states should give workers the right to ignore the after-hour calls. I'm still floored by that.
Why are you floored by that?
I'm just surprised that the audience would have come to that conclusion. I know we speculate about which way is this poll going to go and so forth.
Right.
It was a very close margin.
My favorite part was when we talked about it on the CNN call yesterday, and there might have been some giggling behind the scenes about like you were the one that wanted to talk about this because you sent emails at all hours of the day and night. There might have been just a little.
I mean them as a compliment.
Just a little.
I mean them as a compliment. Which is a bigger hurdle to electing a third-party president? Is it the candidate or is it the demand? You know why I'm asking this today.
Sure.
It's because No Labels, in the end, couldn't field a candidate. And I'm asking, is the problem really that you can't find the candidate or that the demand doesn't exist? If the perception were that there is a demand for this, would that alter the picture and would you have more opportunities in terms of candidates? But I have to say, and in discussing this subject on the program today, the idea that they really did pursue Admiral McRaven. They really did pursue The Rock. The Rock is in town. Literally is on a Fox screen as I'm speaking.
I see
Dwayne
that.
The Rock Johnson on the State of America.
Amazing.
They wanted to know if The Rock was interested.
I mean, he's very popular.
It's amazing. It is really, really amazing. Okay, more headlines from the Friday edition of the newsletter. I'm so excited about this. The #1 nonfiction book in the country is Jonathan Haidt's The Anxious Generation. He's been here with me.
Yes.
We put it on YouTube.
Yep.
You can watch the interview. Jonathan Haidt, all about the societal impact of adolescents, children having their play move from the playground, from the backyard, unstructured play to the smartphone, and what the resulting consequences have been for us as a society. This is so central to what I'm referring to as the Mingle Project, my effort to shine a spotlight on, how we've become disconnected from one another, how polarization politically has been fueled, and what we can do about it. And today we launched something that I'm so excited about. And thank you, Alice, because she's had to invest a lot of time in this.
She's done a terrific job.
Really has done it. And David Yang as well. Shout out to
thank you, David.
Shout out to Dan, because so much of this comes from book interviews that he has posted on my book club podcast. And wait, I want to praise you as well.
Oh, no.
I want to praise TC because every one of these interviews represents somebody I said, can you go get him? But look what we have now at Smerconish.com.
It's so cool.
We have assembled, thank you, Aleko. We're putting it up for the benefit of the YouTube audience. We are showing right now our YouTube audience book jackets that begin in the year 2000 with Robert Putnam writing Bowling Alone, and then Richard Louv, Last Child in the Woods, and then Bill Bishop, The Big Sort, and then Lenore Skenazy, Free Range Kids, and Charles Murray, Coming Apart, and iGen from Gene Twangy, and Morris Fiorina from Unstable Majorities, Monica Guzman, I never thought of it that way, Wonder Drug by Doctors Treziak and Maz, The Good Life from Waldman and Schultz, The Power of One, Frances Haugen, The Whistleblower from Facebook, David Brooks, How to Know a Person, and Jonathan Haidt.
It's an over 20-year journey that is culminating in this project.
Yes. If you click on any one of these book jackets at Smerconish.com, you get the 15 to 20-minute interview that I've done with these authors.
Right.
And we've assembled them in the chronological order of their release. So I may have interviewed them at different times, but you can hear sort of the whole image unfold. I mean, it begins with Putnam in 2000 saying, hey, fewer Elks Clubs, fewer Moose Lodge,
what does
this mean? Huh. What's going on here? And then comes Richard Louv, a few years before the iPhone is released. So he is thinking technology, but he's not thinking smartphones. But do you remember when Richard Louv talked about the fact that there was a minivan print ad? And in the minivan print ad, they showed kids in the back seat with a flip down watching a television.
Yeah, watching a movie from the back seat.
And the minivan was in this spectacular setting.
Gorgeous. It's like driving through the Grand Canyon and the kids were watching inside the car.
Kids were watching TV.
Right.
And so he started to point out, the Last Child in the Woods, get your kids back in the woods.
Such a preview.
When I was growing up, I always had a fort in the woods.
Right.
We were constantly building forts in the woods.
I know.
And we were interacting, and we were arguing, and we were having fun, and we were reading Playboys. I mean, like everything. And now it's all, AI porn and behind closed doors, and kids are not hanging out with one another.
And why can't they just read a Playboy in the woods? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember how we did it. We would seal it in like a baggie so that moisture wouldn't get in, and it would be there for another day.
Oh my gosh. I'm not sure that's exactly what Richard Louv had in mind, but hey.
I'm not sure. He may have.
Okay.
He may have. Anyway, check it out. It's a new feature. I'm so excited about it. Go to Smerconish.com. At the top of the page, click on the Mingle Project, and there are all those author interviews.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Speaking of interviews, you got to listen to TC After Dark. Every week you have to listen to TC After Dark, but especially this episode.
I have gotten so many comments, and people are passing it around to other people saying, like, this will make your day.
It's so inappropriate.
Just listen. It is so funny. It is so funny.
Yeah, we're dying.
I can't listen to it without literally laughing out loud.
And just so you know, it was a sneak attack. I want you to know. I want you to listen to it. I don't want to give too much away. TC didn't know what was happening.
To be
TC
clear,
did not know what was happening.
Let's just lay it out. This is what you said to me. Do you mind if I stay in studio while you're taping? I'll just sit here quietly.
Wait, I wasn't setting you up. I was working that day.
Yeah, you actually had no idea what the topic was.
No, then I'm listening to you and I'm like, I think I need to say something.
I need a piece of that.
It's the best. It's the best. It's the best.
Oh, no. I'm going to go listen to it every time I need a laugh.
All right,
seriously.
walk me through these money stories.
Okay, so we got a lot of money stories going on. The first one is that Kiss has sold their catalog and likeness for $300 million. They are
Nice.
not alone. This happens. This is the company that puts on hologram shows for musical acts. So their idea
Like
is
the ABBA people?
Yeah, exactly. Their idea is that they
see
want
that
this
show.
to live. Have you seen it?
No, I would like to see the ABBA show in London.
Oh.
I wonder how if it's still hot ticket. I don't know. I lost
Yeah.
track.
All right, so that's the first money, $300 million for the whole Kiss catalog and their likenesses. It's going to be a show that we think. Now this one is amazing. From KTLA, this is quote bad. $300 million heist in Southern California.
30.
Oh, sorry, I was going with,
Still a lot.
I was going with the
Yeah,
Kiss
yeah.
catalog.
Yeah.
30 million. Descending order. In what sounds like something straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster film, thieves managed to break into a San Fernando Valley money storage facility on Easter Sunday, breach the vault, and take off with an estimated $30 million in cash, all without tripping a single
Why
alarm.
is $30 million on Roxford Street in Sylmar?
An employee with the
I don't
company
get
who
it.
spoke, anonymity, said they had no idea so much money was in there. Someone knew.
Somebody knew.
Somebody knew.
Yeah, somebody knew.
Something.
Without tripping a single
And the question
alarm.
is, I think they went in either the side or the roof. I mean, this was sophisticated.
Love that. That's money story number one.
That's money story number two. Kiss.
Kiss.
The vault.
Yes.
Okay, now a gambler has hit 3 jackpots at Caesar's Palace and wins another one. He won 3 jackpots in 3 hours at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas last week, found fortune again in the early hours of Thursday morning. This time the player hit a $692,500 on a Dragon Link slot machine, similar to the one that got lucky last week.
125 initially, 383,500. Then 159,250 for a total of $667,750. The player likely had a portion withheld for taxes. The casino is required to withhold 24% of winnings when the jackpot is more than 300 times the bet. And
You know what he needs to do?
tell me.
Play Powerball.
And to the point we were discussing yesterday about anonymity, when I came up with my fabulous movie idea,
True.
This individual has anonymity. The guest declined to publicize a name and has asked to remain anonymous. And finally, in terms of the money report,
How far does $100 go at the grocery store after 5 years of food inflation? The answer is not as far as it used to go. In fact, shoppers would have to remove almost $37 worth of items to spend the same amount as in 2019. So that's how much it has gone up. It's a really neat interactive article from the Wall Street Journal that shows your grocery bill at 2019 prices, then with the increase and what you would have to take out. But there's hope. I mean, they say that you can get things on sale. You can be creative. There's always something that you can buy. But prices have gone up and sizes have shrunk. So it's a bad combo.
and you got to deal with food each and every day. That's why it's such a significant factor in the election. There are 2 basketball stories posted on the website and in the newsletter today, and each pertains to women.
I like that. Yeah. 2 Final Four links. One about Dawn Staley defending her "if you don't believe in God" comment ahead of the Final Four. She was saying, God's really funny. He's really funny. And then saying, if you don't believe in God, something's wrong with you. Seriously, I'm a believer. I mean, she was just sort of riffing. People are taking offense to that, like something's wrong with you if you don't believe in God. I think everyone just needs to relax. Just, keep rolling. And of course, the other one's on Caitlin Clark, the New York Post, saying she gets the spotlight because of her talent, not her race. I don't think anyone could argue with that. She's incredible.
Right. ESPN's Jamel Hill did argue with that, centering Caitlin Clark in everything and pouring a huge share of the coverage behind her, while the coverage that sometimes non-white women get, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, she's earned it. In my view, she has earned it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening this week. Thank you for watching on YouTube. We appreciate you. We will see many of you this weekend in Sellersville, Pennsylvania for the Mingle Project. Looking forward to that. I'm getting a little nervous. And also coming to Long Island on Monday, June 17. Hope to see you there. Bye.